What's up, everybody? It's time for the weekly drive. All right. We got about 25, 30 minutes, depending on my lead foot. So let's make some magic. If anybody knows of a good mount for a phone that does not crap out after a week or two, let me know. Okay. This new mount is great, but it's kind of stuck to the curvature of my dashboard. So anybody watching on YouTube will be able to see that I am coming in slanted. Okay. High production quality here, folks, but we'll make do. Okay. I'm probably just going to get like a stack of the other ones because that thing did me good for like what, 2 months? So just get 6 of those. Screw it. Yeah, so I hope everybody's been keeping up with the weekly workouts. If you've been able to check them out. If not, go check them out on Coach Fitzz on Instagram, Coach_FITZZ. Yeah, a whole lot of fun filming them. I hope you guys are having fun with that and with the recipe that comes with it. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else to update. Is there anything really? We got Easter coming up. I hope anybody who's celebrating has a great Easter. I don't know what everybody else does, if they go traditional with like some ham, mashed potatoes, corn, what else? I don't know if people do stuffing and stuff. I don't know. I come from, even though my last name is Fitzsimmons, very Irish, my cooking growing up was all Italian because my mom's mom is Sicilian. So straight out of Sicily, we got meatballs, lasagna, stuffed shells every time we have some sort of big thing like Christmas or Easter. You better believe that that's a 2-course lasagna for the first with the meatballs and bread, or if we're feeling light, we'll do stuffed shells. And then the main course, which is like the turkey or the ham or the roast beef or whatever. So food comas growing up like that, okay, probably was the reason I was such a fat kid, but it's all coming together. But that's what we usually got going on. But because we're health conscious now, my mom and dad are both trying to get on the healthy train. So we decided to just do one. Okay, we're not cutting everything out completely, not trying to make some Franken lasagna crap, but we're all looking at each other. No, we're not doing that crap. Okay, we're gonna have one delicious lasagna and enjoy the shit out of it. Okay, that's why I tell you guys like every single week, like just control the portions. So if you want to indulge a little bit this weekend and you're catching this episode because I'm trying to get this up today, but if it doesn't get up in time, don't worry. You could still use this rule going forward. Just stick to the 1 plate rule. If you have a situation you're in, okay, now that we're all starting to get a little bit more social, now that things are looking up with the current state of things, okay, there's going to be temptation at barbecues, family parties, all that stuff that comes with like the warmer weather and summertime. Stick to the 1 plate rule. Enjoy yourself, but just limit yourself to 1 plate's worth of the good stuff. Okay, if you want a dessert, that's fine. Just make room for it on the plate without stacking it. Okay, if you want lasagna like I'm having, I'm going to have 1 serving. That's it. If I want the meatballs, they better fit on the friggin' plate. If not, boo-hoo. I didn't make enough room for it, so it wasn't a priority to me. And that's the way it is. So use that and you'll be able to enjoy stuff guilt-free. All right, now on to the topic today. We're going to do thinking workout related because that's my bread and butter. I could talk to you guys for hours on just pick a subject, anything, and I'll give you my take on it. So when it comes to working out this week, we're going to be talking about pairing exercises. Okay. Oops, excuse me. Oh my goodness, I forgot my caffeine. Sorry, folks. One sec. There we go. Oh no, I spilled it. Okay, now we can get started. Caffeine's running. Let's go. So, pairing exercises. I know for any guys listening or ladies who are interested in the bodybuilding world, those of you anybody who's interested in that realm probably has heard of how like Arnold Schwarzenegger used to pair upper and lower. Okay, what I mean by that is he would do bench press with a row or chin ups with a different type of pulling exercise, which turns out years later, he knew what the hell he was doing. Back then, it was just, it feels good. But now we actually have evidence to show that doing stuff like that actually is really beneficial, because you get a ton of benefits when you pair like a muscle group that's on the opposite side of your body. So like Arnie, for example, he would do bench press that would work the chest, the front of the shoulders, the triceps, and then he would do like a row, which would work his lats, which are those muscles on the side of your back, the rear delts, the back of your shoulder, the traps. Okay, everybody knows where those traps are. Upper and lower is towards like the middle of your back. So pretty much the entire upper body was taken care of. Now, turns out when you do those type of pairings, it increases your performance in both. Okay, more specifically, if you were to do say you wanted to get a bigger bench, doing those rowing motions afterwards is going to help in a way. Let me back up a sec. I'm having trouble forming this thought, but pretty much when you work a muscle, whether it be your pecs, your lats, your abs, your butt, anything, when you work it out, there's this thing called residual stiffness. Now, that pretty much just means that when you work a muscle, squeeze it to a point of where it's tired, it then is going to hold on to some level of tension. Okay. When that happens, that can help a lot with stability. So in the case of bench press, when you do a bunch of rows and your lats aren't completely trashed, but they're stimulated, they're going to hang on to that little bit of tightness. So when you're tightening up like you should for a bench press, you should be tightening up your back by puffing your chest up and pulling your shoulders away from your ears. Okay, that should squeeze all the muscles in your back, but they're already stiff because of what we just did with that rowing motion. Okay, now, trying to get over here. Man, people stink. That residual stiffness creates a whole lot of tension in the muscle, and that muscle is responsible for keeping your shoulders stable while you're bench pressing. Now, when you have more stability in anything you're doing, it's going to be easier to lift more weight. Then when we lift more weight, we get better results. And when we get better results, we're happy. And that's what they found out when they put it into the lab. Okay, they figured out that, hey, there's a lot of benefits that come along with this. Okay, and then you can get into all the stuff about like stretching the muscle between sets and stuff like that. So if you're working your pecs and you're doing flies and stuff, it's stretching out your back. And then when you're doing pulling motions, it's stretching out your chest, or at least it should. Okay, that little bit of stretching and that motion and all the stuff that comes with that is also really good for muscle growth and a bunch of stuff in that area. Now, a couple of good options when it comes to doing exercises like this, like good pairings, are like the ones I mentioned, like Arnie did, like the pushing and the pulling. And then when it comes to the legs, you could do the same thing. Now, when you're squatting or deadlifting, a lot of your legs are involved, but there's certain parts that are emphasized more than others. So for example, if we're doing like a front squat or a goblet squat, now, ideally, to keep your torso up nice and tall, those knees have to go well past your toes. So if possible, yes, you want to try and do that. That is going to stress out your quad, okay, the front of your leg. It's going to stress that out the most. Now, what would be a good pairing with that? Something that works behind the hamstrings. So if you did goblet squat first, and then your second exercise was something like hamstring curls on a machine, or you could do even glutes, because glutes are also going to help in this equation too. Okay, you could do like bridges or something, and that would help. And then if you also threw in a third exercise, with maybe a plank or some sort of ab exercise where you're not crunching, you're working on keeping it stable and moving like a bird dog or a dead bug, that would create stiffness in your core. So now we got three things. One is the goblet squat. We got the hamstrings that are creating that residual tension in the back of your legs. And we got a plank or something that's creating stiffness in your core. So now we got the posterior muscles working hard. We got the core working harder, and that squat is going to feel amazing. Okay. I am not just saying this because it's like theory or I read it somewhere. Like I literally put this in everybody's programs because I put it in my own damn programs. It feels great there. It honestly, and it's a time saver on top of all of that. You're getting in a ton of exercise. If you're doing 2 or 3 exercises in a row and then taking your rest, you're taking off easily 20, 30 minutes off your workout rather than doing one exercise, rest, another set, rest, another set, rest. Okay, supersetting and tri-setting and even monster setting or quad sets, like 4 exercises, that has its place too. So there's so many reasons why this whole pairing thing is the bee's knees. God, that sounded old. I take that back. That was bad. Yeah, no, I'm crossing that out. I'm not going to edit it out. I'm just going to apologize for that. Ugh. So yeah, I thought I'd be able to go a little bit longer on that topic, but what you going to do? I mean, that's pretty much it. It's very simple. It's a great method that you guys can implement in your workouts. So instead of going for your body part split where it's like, I'm going to do chest on Monday, back on Tuesday, legs on Wednesday, hopefully. Okay. I know some of us skip leg day, and then arms on Thursday, and then maybe chest and back or more arms on Friday before happy hour. Instead of doing that, try and hit a little bit of everything for 3-4 times a week, or do like a push pull leg split if you want to do like 5 or 6 days. So on your push, actually, I take that back. Forget the push pull legs because that's going to go against the whole concept of this pairing. Okay. But you can still, if you wanted to go that route with the pushing, you could ideally. You trying to pass me, bro? Oh, yeah. I didn't think so. Sorry, guys. You could use the pairing. You know what? Screw it. We're going to go with it. For the push pull legs, you can pair things in an intelligent way. So you can't necessarily do the posterior and the front. I'll stop saying the fancy words. The front and the back. You can't necessarily do that because on push days, you're going to work all the muscles in the front, but that's okay. We can do it intelligently. We can do it where you want to do things in a way that makes sense, that gets you the best results on each exercise specifically. So say you're doing a push day. We're not starting with tricep extensions because triceps are going to help us do all the stuff that we want to do. We're like our bench presses, our overhead presses, like anything in that realm needs your triceps. So we're not going to trash them right away. So a good idea would be doing something like a bench press first. Okay. You just hit everything in the push day, your chest, your shoulders, your tries, you hit all of that in the bench press to start you off. And then maybe pair that with either like a core exercise. Okay. Nobody said that you can't do core on a push day. Okay. And if you don't want to go that route, instead of doing a core, maybe you could do a chest press with a shoulder press. And actually, I just remembered a really good one. For those of you that haven't heard of German volume training, it's a method that was popularized by Charles Poliquin. Okay. Basically what you do is you take a heavy compound, so like a bench press or a push-up or something like that, and then you take an accessory exercise that's still kind of challenging. Okay. That would be like a shoulder press. And then you take a third exercise that's like an accessory that's a smaller muscle group, like doing tricep extensions, and you do it in a way where it's low rep, medium rep, high rep. So you could do for the bench press, do like 5 to 6 reps. Then on the overhead press, you do like 10 to 12 reps. And then on the tricep extension, you could do like 15 to 20 reps. And let me tell you, that hurts so good. It really, and on a leg day, So on a leg day, it would be something like if you wanted to do squats, like we mentioned before, so goblet squats. Second exercise would be something like Poliquin, what's it called? Now I can't talk. Poliquin split squat. Okay, that's a very exaggerated knees over toe version of the split squat. And then you do something like a calf raise on the third set, and it burns a crap ton of calories in very little time, and it destroys you. Now, if you pair that with like really good sleep and really good nutrition, like that is one hell of a workout. Okay, so that's another way that you can pair things, like in a set of 3 is doing German volume style. Okay, that's for like push pull legs if you wanted to go that route. So yeah, that's one way you could do it. Or go back to how I mentioned before, where you do the press with like core, or if you wanted to do just the compound movements together, so you could do the bench press for that 6 to 8 reps and the shoulder press for like 8 to 10 reps, like bang bang back and forth. That's fine, you could do it that way. Or oh man, I gotta go back and read more of the German volume, because now I'm remembering another great one. Another way you can do that is you take a bench that's adjustable. Okay, and for bench press, normally 2 dumbbells, you go flat, and that would be the low rep one. That would be like the 5 to 6 reps. Then you go up on the incline. So midway between overhead and bench press, you go to that level of an incline on the adjustable bench, and you do 8 to 10, maybe 10 to 12. Okay, you do 10 to 12 there, and then you crank it up all the way to overhead, and you do that for 15 to 20 or something high rep. That is a torture, and if you're in a crowded gym, that's a really, really good idea, because you don't have to move. Okay, you're not that douchebag that's taking up 10 machines at one time saying, oh, bro, I'm doing a superset. Okay, nobody likes that guy. This will keep you from being that guy or lady. Okay, either one. So I think that's pretty much it on that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Since we got time, I know I probably have like 10, 15 more minutes on this trip. Let's talk about something nutrition related. Let's pick something easy, like the fact that sugar doesn't make you fat. Yeah, we'll go with that. So I know I probably said that, and a couple of you are like, wait, what? Yeah, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news that you've been depriving yourself for no reason, but yeah, it's true. And well, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. No, I'll explain. So there's this like overarching fear that just by eating sugar, that you're all of a sudden going to blow up like a balloon and you're never going to be able to burn fat. And it's just not true, because yes, this is an extreme example, but it still holds true. Like even though they're drug enhanced, like bodybuilders at the absolute highest level are taking in carbs at an insane rate. And some of them, to get to those levels of carbohydrates, like I'm talking like 300, 400, 500 grams of carbs a day when they're dieting. Sometimes that requires taking in a little bit of sugar. Now, I don't know if anybody's seen a muscle mag recently, but doesn't look like they're that fat. Okay, it's just not, I don't understand why there's this fear. And more importantly, some people are promoting that sugar in fruit, specifically like fructose, is the reason that we're getting fat, when it just is not true. Because when it comes to problems with sugar, the big problem when it comes to sugar is the fact that it's hyper palatable. For anybody that doesn't know what that means, it's pretty much, it is very easy to eat. You really enjoy eating it. And what also comes along with that is lack of satiety. You don't get full on sugar because it breaks down so freaking fast that you don't have any time in your stomach to actually feel full. Now, when you have something like fruit, that doesn't apply, because you have that magical thing called fiber. When you have fiber, that slows everything down. Okay, fiber is kind of like the garbage truck. It's picking stuff up as it goes. It's making traffic slow down. Okay. Nobody likes to be behind it. Okay. Sugar is like that douchebag on the highway driving 100 miles an hour, weaving through traffic. Okay. Fiber is, imagine every lane of traffic was taken up by a garbage truck or a salt truck if it was snowing. Okay. That's pretty much what's happening. Now, even with all of this considered, the thing that drives fat loss, fat gain, okay, weight loss, weight gain in general, yes, they're different, is total amount of calories. Now, what those calories do or what they turn into comes down to a lot of factors, like how well do you sleep? How are you what are your workouts consisting of? Are you hydrating properly? Are you taking in enough protein? That's the stuff that's going to decide whether that weight loss is going to be coming from fat or lean muscle or anywhere. Okay. That's what's going to be the deciding factor in that. So if you're working out hard, if you're eating enough protein, if you're getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, if you're drinking half your body weight in ounces of water and the calories are correct, then you should lose fat. Okay. That's assuming that you have a normal hormonal profile. When your hormones are out of whack, like, I'm sorry, like, I wish I could tell you like it doesn't apply, but it just does. It does. So if you fall into that category where your hormones are a little funky, okay, if the women are listening that are in that stage of their life, definitely consult with a doctor, because there are ways that they can help you normalize or help with your hormonal profile. So that's a conversation for your doctor, not your trainer. Yeah, but all things considered, if you hit those markers, then yes, you should lose fat. Okay, now if you happen to have fruit, then that's not automatically going to just get rid of all those factors and say, no, you're eating fruit. Nope, going to throw that into the fat. It doesn't do that. Okay. When you take in carbohydrates in any form, that could be sugar, that could be, having a brain fart here. Okay. When you take in carbs in any form, that could be fruits, vegetables, bread, pasta, candy, any of that, it's going to turn into what's called glycogen. Glycogen is this fuel that your muscles, your liver, like your body uses it, and it's your body's preferred form of fuel, and it likes using it. But if it spills over, like if you take in too many carbohydrates and your calories, which let me formulate this sentence properly. Okay. If your carbohydrate levels in conjunction with your fat and protein intake gets you to a point calorically where you are above maintenance calories. Okay. Maintenance is like this range of calories where you can get away with and your body weight won't budge too much. But if you are over that because of the total amount of protein, carbs, and fat that you are ingesting, you're going to get fatter. Okay. Or you're going to get muscle, or both. Again, that depends. If you have adequate protein intake, you're working out hard, 7 to 9 hours, drinking enough, and you're in a surplus, you're going to gain muscle if you're pushing it in the gym and constantly progressing. Now, if it's too much of a surplus, you're going to get that muscle, but you're also going to get that added fat. Now, if you're just sitting on your ass being a lazy sack of you know what and not doing anything and eating too much, it's just going to go to straight fat. Okay. And daily functions, but you're going to see it in the fat. So this whole concept of sugar is bad for you is just a bunch of bullshit. And it's honestly just a way for, like, if you hear like academics talking about it, they're just taking the research that they think fits their hypothesis. They're not looking at the overall picture. Okay. They're just trying to scare you into buying whatever the frick they're selling. Okay. If you look at the numbers, if look at what's actually out there, there are studies on low fat. One of the works if the calories and proteins are and protein is equated for. Okay, that's just the way it is. Now, if anybody tells you any different, trying to promote, oh, keto is great because you don't have carbs, you don't have sugars in it, but meanwhile you're eating bacon, steak, cheese, and you're eating a crap ton of calories, you're still going to get fat. It's not because you're cutting out sugar. Okay, if the calories and protein are right, that's what matters. So that's why if you're into the calorie counting and you want to go down that track, okay, that's a very enlightening track because it teaches you a lot about what's in food and like how much food is actually worth, okay, calorically. When you go that path, you only really need to account for calories and protein because fats and carbs are very individual based on preferences, based on how you feel. Okay, the only people that really need to track carbs and fat are like athletes. That's pretty much it. I can't see another reason that's coming to mind for any normal person that lives a normal lifestyle to ever track carbs and fat, as long as your fats are above 20%, because when you dip underneath that 20%, it your hormones can get a little funky over time, okay, which we don't want because what we talked about earlier, when your hormones are out of whack, nothing seems to make sense. But if you're hitting that 20% at least, then feel free to fluctuate between carbs and protein. Like one day could be high on the carbs, one day could be low on the carbs. One day you want cake, so it's going to go up in the carbs. One day you want to eat nothing but salads, so now your carbs are going down, and the fats, like it does not matter. As long as the calories are right, as long as the protein is right, you can live a pretty normal lifestyle and take control of your weight loss in any which way you want to do it, or weight gain. Like I know right now, I have a cousin and a brother. They're both trying to gain weight. Okay, they're on a different plan, but the same rules apply. So if they want to gain weight, they're going to have to eat more. If at any point they wanted to lose weight, they're going to have to eat less. Okay, sugar doesn't matter. And in certain cases, like weight gain, sugar can be a big help. Okay, if you are hitting your nutritional requirements, if you're eating your veggies every day, your fruits, you're getting enough protein, if you're doing all of that, then who's to say you can't have like a treat here and there? Like that's normal living. That's how what we should strive for is little indulgences here and there to keep us sane, because food is not all about numbers. It's not all about these dumb rules that are, oh, you shouldn't eat this, it's bad. No, this food is good. Like they're not people. Food is food. Okay. Food has like an emotional tie to some people. Food is linked to good feelings for some people. Like it brings them back to a place. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but anytime I open up a thing of Elio's pizza, I'm automatically back to 18 years old, just got done with football, and that with some iced tea, and it's nostalgia. Okay. I'm not going to do that every day, but when the mood strikes, I should be able to do that. And you can. Okay. If I'm having this lasagna, my grandmother, who just recently passed, she made this lasagna, and I am not kidding. Like her lasagna and her meatballs, there is literally nothing better. This woman ruined Italian food for me because I can't get it from anywhere else because it's not to that standard. So I eat a meatball or that lasagna, and it brings me to a place where I remember my grandmother. Now, no research paper is gonna have that in it. No scientific textbook is gonna have that in it. And that's the problem. Okay, we have these emotional ties to food, and we have all this other stuff that goes into it that isn't just numbers, and that needs to be taken into account. So there needs to be flexibility. There needs to be this ability to every once in a while have a little bit of splurge and still stay on your goals, still do what you got to do to get it done and make progress. Now, when you can do that, when you find that sweet spot calories wise, or even if you're not tracking calories, if you're doing like habit based stuff like 3 meals, 2 snacks, and you can do that, eat what you want to eat and enjoy life, you have nailed it. If you're losing that half a pound to a pound or 2 pounds a week and you're living the good life and you are getting what you want, that's all you need. That's the goal, that is the finished product. Okay. And then you just ride it as long as it takes to get to where you want to be. Then it's a patience game. And that's when it becomes very sustainable. So that ended up being the majority of this talk. So, so I hope you guys got a little bit out of it. I'm home now, so I guess I'll wrap it. If you guys have any questions about the nutrition or those supersets we were talking about, feel free to reach out at coachfitz1@gmail.com, Fitz with 2 Z's. Okay. Or find me on TikTok, Instagram, coach_FITZZ. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. And if you really, really liked it, please leave a rating. It does help. So appreciate anybody that does that. Okay. I will catch you guys next week. Have an amazing week. If I put this out before Easter, have an amazing Easter, and I'll see you guys next time.